All right, good afternoon. It is January 12th, 2022, and today we had a range day. As you can see, the overnight highs and lows are in yellow, so we did hit a measured move pretty much exactly, went a few ticks further than that, and that's where we turned down. It did feel like we were going to be in an uptrend, but then we had these two legs down. It doesn't look like they were quite measured moves, and maybe that's why this bounce worked out, because Mac typically says when you don't have a measured move in one direction, we typically go further in the other direction. So not much here after really not much here after about 9 a.m. this morning. I didn't like anything I was seeing anyway. We'll take a look. So I came in a bit early, so I saw this second entry right here, and I like that. But that's before 5 a.m., so I didn't mark that. But if you wanted to take this higher low, I think you could have. It's a little tough to be taking that, though, going into these highs. But after this leg up, I took the second entry thinking we would go to test the overnight highs, which eventually we did. But when we made this bearish bar right here, it felt like we were just, like not really going anywhere. It was hard to tell where we were going. But also, if you draw it like this, it kind of looks like this is a solid entry to take. So you might have taken those. And I think the Fed chair spoke this morning or something. That's definitely what happened right here. Then we come up here and you get a first entry, second entry off the trend channel. Unfortunately, the signal bar was no good, but if you want to be aggressive, you might take that. And then we just start chopping around in this range. We get a with trend breakout, and that leads to a counter trend breakout. And then you got these two legs. Didn't quite make a measured move down. And you know what? I'm looking at this. I actually like this. I'm going to mark this. This is a second entry. We have a counter trend breakout. It's a second entry, and it's a higher low with a lot of space back to the EMA. So maybe I should mark this green, but that looks really good to me. And I think I was watching that in real time and didn't really, I didn't have the guts to take that, but that looks good after the fact. Then we make this move up. It looks kind of congestive here, so I don't like it. That is technically a second entry, but the signal bar is no good. This is a new low, so first entry failed, second entry short. That just looks like you're going into the highs, though. We don't know if the congestion is over, and this isn't off the trend line, so you might go long here. I'm not really crazy about that setup, though. So I'll go ahead and mark that. And so here we get a second entry long off of near what appears to be the trend line, but first entry, second entry, it doesn't quite come to the trend channel. I wouldn't be surprised if I got trapped on this move if I was watching it live. The best thing I can say is, we're coming off these highs. We just made a new high, but it wasn't much higher, and prices have been pretty choppy on the back and forth on the other both sides of the EMA. But that's all I really got. I don't see why else to not take it. The signal bar is a doji, so that's probably the main reason right there. Is a doji. I got trapped on a second entry doji yesterday morning, so that's why the signal bar is important. And then we get this first entry failed, second entry short setup, and I really like this setup. I marked it green just because this is a doji and these are 3 bars stacked up. But I really like that setup. But we just came off the measured move, so you do want to be careful. And you can see it turns down shortly after that. This kind of looks like, to me, like a double top. So I was looking at this as a first failed second entry long. I like that setup. And then we overshoot what I had drawn as the channel. I'll zoom out a little. I had that drawn as the channel. And I had my midline based off these two swing lows. But it could just be like that. And that probably, either way, it probably works out. So we get this overshoot, lower high. They probably trap some shorts here, and then you get a higher low right here. And again, this isn't as good of a setup as this one, because this is kind of in no man's land. But look at that higher low with all that room back to the EMA. You might take that. And this looks like a double bottom, so it is a higher low, so that's technically a first entry. So some people might have taken this as a second entry short. I preferred waiting on a lower high, and so I really like this this lower high like failure right here. So as soon as it ticked up, it started going down. So if you drop your order right here, I think that's a good entry. And we just find this congestion down here, bounce, and you get a first entry, second entry right off that same price level. That's low risk, so I like that, especially we haven't made a new low yet, and that ends up being a really, really nice move. And you might take this, but you're going right into the lows there, so I guess I'll mark that too. But and I'm expecting at this point, I'm expecting to test these overnight lows because we're moving so strong down. So when we get this first entry, second entry, you got to take that off the EMA. I think you have to take that. And we actually come up short of the overnight lows, but we bounce, form this congestion, and then we break out of that with trend, or with the bias, I should say. No real way to enter here. To me, this looks like a midline. This looks like the highs, and the lows are right here. That trend didn't last too long though. So we were trending up, and you get a first entry, second entry, and at that point, it doesn't look. It does kind of look congestive. So I guess that is a little aggressive. But there's room to the highs. Even room to this swing high. So I like that. But you might be a little timid because now this looks like a double test, but we broke right through that. So maybe that's all this was, is just trapping. Really, they're just chopping people up here now that I'm thinking about it. So I do think this might be aggressive, but after this such a strong move up, I think I'm going to take that second entry. But then in the short term, when we get this, make this price level again, test it once, test it a second time, I definitely understand why people might go short there. Then we come down here and we bounce, confirming that. Oh, that doesn't really confirm it. It gets confirmed right here. So no entry there. And this is a second entry short. And I really like that because despite this being the channel up, let me just shrink that for a second. This is clearly a range. So this looks like a break out of the range, and it's a second entry short. So in real time, I like that. After the fact, it looks like the bias is up, so maybe I shouldn't have taken that, but in real time, I definitely like that. We make this new low, and you get a first entry, second entry short. Oh, wait, no, that's the first entry right there. But this lower high looks really good, but I don't think there's any way to see that in real time, especially since we just got confirmation of this trend channel. And I would have taken a second entry off this level of support if we got a good signal bar, but we didn't. And I'm sure if someone watching probably had a good signal bar there, so I would take that. start trending down. This is looking kind of choppy. This one right here, I would say that's a second entry short. My signal bar wasn't good. If your signal bar was good there, I would say take that. And then I don't see anything in here. And I just don't, me personally, I don't like the price action. Like, this is back and forth and inconsistent highs, pretty consistent lows. So you might take like this one, but I don't like how long that stem is. Takes you into what looks like it would be the midline of congestion. This looks like a nice entry right here. Double bottom, first, failed second entry. So that's what I saw for today. Took 2 trades. I don't have this one marked, so we'll see what that's about. Yeah, second entry right here. That's a little tough, but it does look like it's at the bottom of congestion, so I like that. And I guess I took this as a second entry long. So yeah, actually, you know, I might actually mark that as green. Why is it aggressive? I guess because you're going into the midline of this range. I probably just wasn't seeing it as a range at the time being. Let's see, do you get out? And I entered on a limit order. 25. Oh, so yeah, that might be a 4-tick failure right there. So that's why you want to be careful. Have your trend channels drawn. This does look like a range, so I was going in the midline. Yeah, so I guess that was a little aggressive. So that's what I saw for today. Those are the trades I took. Hope everyone had a great day, and I'll be back tomorrow.